showcased.
Welcome to the Showcase Pod. We are coming live on a rainy Thursday night from the 1776 studio. We are Puerto Rican free. And on the chat line, when you bring up, I want to find out, do you think that Don Vega is not here because he's afraid of the rain? Now, we know the ghost, well, he's not afraid of the ghost, but we got a late text that he will not be with us, and I literally texted him. I said, "Hey, are you afraid of the rain? Do you not like to get wet?" So he is not here. So Dan will be on camera. So we're going to go over some of the news regarding Showcase Pro Wrestling, taunting, some of the news regarding nationally. Danny's favorite subjects is being intertwined between wrestling and politics. We'll get with some information on that. But let's kick off, Dan. You got the card right there from Taunton last week.
Yep, Taunton was a great show, man, and had fun and decent crowd. And we had Joel Davis and Johnny there come out, and the debut as a tag team. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
real deal.
We'll get into it. It wasn't. I had higher hopes. For one of the teams. Let's put it that way. But we'll get into it because there's more I got to get into it regarding that one. But you got the card there. Let's go with match on one.
Match one. Don Vega, 1.5 of the world. He's not champion anymore, right?
No, he is stripped because we are doing the tag team tournament
coming up, yep.
December 6th in Taunton. Those tickets are available right now at showcaseprowrestling.com. But
him and Danny Cabral, that was a good match.
Well, it was an opening match, and that's true. It's funny on the indies, guys. A lot of times they complain that they're match 1, match 2, match 4. And I always tell, are you match 1 or match 6? It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Because if you're going to have a shitty match, you're going to have a shitty match no matter where you are.
Plus, they don't understand, these new guys, how important the first match is, because that tells a tale for the rest of the show.
Well, it does. It sets the pace. And the fact that, Don is a veteran, over 25 years, and Danny is a young kid coming up to about 3.5, going on 4 years. I think he wanted something to prove. And sometimes that training, you see Vega get in there with some of the kids, and he is so nice now. Because some days, and I watch him, right? And this will get into why this match kind of happened. I watch him, and depending on the level of the kid training and where they're at, he'll put them on. He'll kind of not put them underneath his wing, but he'll give them the extra attention. If they feel that they're worthy. He doesn't do that to everybody, but when people get up to a certain level, and Daniel was one of those kids that he did, and he would get in there, and obviously you're not going to show everybody everything because you can't. It was different times at training, but I think that was a great example where. It was no secret that Don Vega is one of the trainers at Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. Danny's been one of our guys that we built from the ground up, and I think it was a test that kind of wanted to be set on the outside, And these two have mutual respect. They tagged a couple of weeks ago, down in Woonsocket. Danny stepped up, and look what happened in your match.
Yeah.
And Danny stepped up, and
last time we were talking, we had that tag team match where he filled in for.
And he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have, and Vega would have, unfortunately, gladly wrestled you two, by himself, but he didn't. But Danny, he stepped up, and I think this is what the match was. I think it was. I'm watching it as kind of a mutual respect. I see it as almost like a battle of the I don't want to say the old guard and the new guard. But it was a good mutual respect the pin came out of nowhere. Don Vega did win, but I think the interesting part is what happened afterwards. That, Vega put out the invitation, that on that tag tournament, and he was like, hey, on the tag tournament, you'd possibly be my partner. But I think what was kind of missing there, and I don't have the answer even right now, is we still don't have a update on Alex. Can Alex go on December 6th, so Puerto Rican's Most Wanted, or would it be Don Vega and Danny Cabral? So we're getting into the teams.
That was interesting how they wrestled each other. They tagged before another. But I think that's good to build a team because, like, a lot of times rivals become the best teams, I think.
Well, all right. So it's funny when I saw that, right, and they, they wrestled. They had a good match, and then he made the offer. What I wanted to switch up the card that night and have higher education wrestle each other because they haven't done it in a while. And some days you get tag teams. You kind of want to test your partner in an athletic manner, but some days you also have to establish who's the leader of the team. So maybe that's the question we have to find out. Who's the leader of the team of higher education? Because we know they are in the tag team tournament coming down the line. All right, match number 2. What do we have from Tannen?
Bayank Dambadani against Roger Williams again. And me and him has had a lot of battles so far.
I remember that because some people don't know when typically I'm behind the curtain at these events and I'm timing them because obviously we're timing the show. We need a certain length. And I know that match went under 5 minutes. It was like 4 minutes and 43 seconds. All right. And for you, congratulations. You got a tap out from a beer hug, right? Congratulations on that. But I look at Roger Williams, I don't understand it. A lot of times, anyone who goes to the next show in Woonsocket, right, time the Roger Williams match and tell me if it lasts over 5 minutes. Because I don't think Roger Williams is going to last 5 minutes anymore.
Yeah,
he is like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But but the thing I did notice in your match, some people liked Roger Williams, some people liked you. But the thing I did like about it, and we noticed it in some other matches throughout the night, the crowd liked who they liked, and they were vocal, and from majority of the competitors. So between you and they were cheering for you. Now, Dan, I'm going to ask you, right? Because I've known you for years, right? Do you like when people cheer for you?
Yeah.
Do you go out there? Because I always see you as like an old school heel. But you're kind of not. I
love with the kids, though. Like
they like you. And
yeah, I'm good with the kids, man. And it's like my thing is like when I go out to the ring perform, we risk it all. And I just like looking in the faces of the children, When they come out, they're cheering, and I do it for them, And just like, because I remember when I was a kid, I was going to these arenas and all that stuff when I was small, and I was looking at these guys like, wow, and I want, now it's my turn to be that, level, and it's just like, it's such a good feeling going out, especially when you have the kids cheering for you. That's the greatest feeling in the world. And yeah, sometimes it's good to play the bad guy, just get your aggression out, but being a good guy, face whatever case, it's a great feeling, especially again because of the children.
All right, so I'm gonna have to change your locker room status.
Yeah.
You're going the baby face.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'll
love getting the crowd going too. Just getting people behind it and getting people into the match and all that, and I love doing that.
Yeah, no, but they did. They were behind you. They liked the ring. Roger Williams.
That's because they don't hand out candy no more.
Well, no, did you ever hear the story about that?
No.
So Roger Williams, for years he was a babyface. People loved him. The crowd liked him, and he goes, well, I'm over. I said, okay. So each match, I started taking stuff away from him. So eventually he came out with no candy, no music, and just him. And he still got over. So I kind of lost that one, but it was just funny because no, I can get over, But at that time, when people heard the music, they knew him. When he gave out the candy, they knew it came from him.
Yeah.
So I think it was a total package that they knew, and I always like it when the wrestler's music hits and the fans know who it is and they get into it. Either they're cheering or they're booing because that means they're invested.
Yeah.
And they know who they like, they know who they dislike.
The other thing too, he's got a problem ripping up signs. So guys, if you're at a show, you hear Roger Williams' music come out, I'll just like put your sign away because
he has he is the modern day ripper.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you do have a sign, especially if it says like Roger Williams sucks, you know, what's the status of the malpractice suit? You know, with that being said, on November 30th at Woonsocket, I think you guys should put some more signs out there.
Yeah.
So
So
maybe you figure out how you can do a sign that he can't rip up. You know, maybe
especially in the back rows because he can't get that.
Yeah, maybe tape the edges so he can't rip it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we should have. If you go to the Woonsocket show, guys, just have the whole place full of signs. Roger Williams sucks, and
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good match, and yeah, I incorporated. I added it to my arsenal, the bear hug, because nobody else is doing no more now. Me being a powerlifter.
Yep.
And I just utilize my strength to like really pull it into the spine to really because the neurological part of your spine, you just put a lot of pressure on it, pressure points. And
well, if you forget, you know, Roger Wayne, he's just about 6'2", about 230, so he's not a small person. My question is, what happened if you have a smaller person? You know, and no, but let's be, Dan, you should be working on the back quick, and then lock that in because they're not going to get out.
No,
you know, so
especially German suplex them, do all, you know,
even that. Give them a couple of turnbuckles, loosen up the back, get them a little dizzy, lock that in, then go home. You know, Roger Williams, you know, we can crap about being under 5 minutes. In your case, you don't want to go longer than 5. You know, you're 387 pounds. Wink, wink. No, but I mean, you're a bigger dude, and the longer you go, typically more winded you're going to get. So if you can finish them off quick, more to you.
Easy win too.
Yeah. What do we got? What's the next match?
Chris Candido against Damien.
Close.
Damien.
Close. Sean Candido.
Sean Dan.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Chris Candido.
Yeah. God bless him.
So that was another match, right? The crowd liked both of them. Candido coming out doing his one chant. Damien's so funny. I watched the whole thing, and I watched Damien during practice and just coming in. Like he someday is like a human movie because you just don't know what he's going to say or do next. But he literally stole Sean Candido's number one phrase, and it was awesome because Candido's like, well, I don't know why I'm here. Because Damien was doing all of Candido's gimmick. But match-wise, I liked it. Again, going back there, crowd liked both of the guys competing. Damien, I did check on his elbow. He was quite sore after that. What?
The Damien?
Yeah, I am going to be questioning that, especially going up the tag tournament, what the Damien does. Suppose
because it smelled like weed in the locker room, man.
Yeah, well, see, and people know that we have a drug-free locker room. There's no drinking, no smoking, you know, in the locker room. So Damien,
that little closet, you know, the janitor closet in the back.
Yeah.
In Taunton there. You come out of it, smoke come out of it, you
What?
smell like weed.
So here's the problem. Again, when the show starts, I'm at the curtain. I can't see what's going on. So Danny, you're going to be the locker room enforcer. You're going to be part of the weed patrol.
I'll put him in the beer hug, too.
Yes. So, Damien, keep your weed at home. So, but no.
And Chris Spratt there.
So, you know, good job. Candido did get the win on that. But Damien, we sent him out, Damien, for pictures because he was just so over. I'm like, Damien, go out. And he's like, go out where? And he started going out to the parking lot. I said, no, Damien, intermission. So, no, good job for both. And again, I like the fact that people were into the match, both of the wrestlers.
Yeah, the next match was Jay Evans against Blake.
Wait. This is for Don Vega. So Blake Stallion versus, I don't want to say the new Jay Evans, but Evans with an attitude. You know, good match with Blake. Blake is one of the young guys coming out of the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. Trained for us about a year. Now starting to get some ring time. Has a loyal fan base known as the Stable. that was one of his best matches. We went over with him this week. He did come in second, but in Jay Evans, he was aggressive, but I think after the match is probably the biggest story, which we'll get into coming up about 2 matches down the line. So, congratulations for Jay Evans. Nice win.
Since he changed his attitude, he's got more like that persona, like I don't give a shit persona. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, and some of it's coming out. Well, we're going to be, some people don't know the story. Remember, we'll be educating you. It's a little bit tonight and down the line, but I think this is the start of Jay Evans, not the end of Jay Evans with the attitude.
And the next match, Christopher Spratt. And dude, Chris, you need to get away from Damien, man. But Christopher Spratt against Raven and taking another loss, man.
It's not Raven, and it's not Ravon.
Ravon.
It's not Ravon. Well, one of the ring announcers in Boston, he was wrestling and they called him Ravon. But no, that's Brother Moon Revan versus Christopher Spratt.
Oh,
No strangers to each other. I think Spratt got a little bit too comfortable in the tag team position with Damien, which Spratt was having a hard time when he lost at Marchiversary, lost his credentials from Harvard. Damien did pick him up when he was at his lowest point. I'm just not sure between one of them with the Devil's Grass, supposedly, and the other one with this herbal tea. Yeah.
Yeah, herbal tea.
Herbal tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. You know what I call that? I call that beer. Okay.
Yeah.
And I like beer, but there's no beer drinking during the matches. So Spratt, Damien, I'm putting you on notice. We're gonna do a sobriety test coming down the line.
You gotta lock that closet over there too, by the way.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, the YouTube championship was on the line. Brother Moon Revan did retain, and Spratt. Some days you got to pick a lane. I will give you some advice, Spratt. If you're going to tag with Damien, talk to him and start going over the contracts for tag team. Don't go something. Danny, when you're in a tag team, you get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
In there, right? Some days you go longer and harder when you're out there because you can make that tag.
Yeah.
But if you're in a singles and you're doing that and there's no one to tag, your wind is up.
Yeah.
And that's when you make mistakes and that's when you get caught with something. So Spratt, give me a little bit of advice. Choose what you want to do. Either be in the tag team or be in the singles. Don't try to do both. And get off that herbal tea.
Yeah. And I don't think you hanging out with the Damien, man. That's not a good combination.
No. But on the flip side, people actually like Christopher Spratt now, where 6 months ago, would you ever think that people like Spratt? They were cheering for him.
Yeah. Plus, his 10-minute entrance.
Well, maybe that's why they like him now, because he's not doing 10 minutes entrance. Some days in Surprise is not a 10 minutes entrance because he does or has been walking a little bit funny lately, to say the least.
Then the main event, Rambo Godfrey, undefeated heavyweight champion, and Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty champion
against Rocky. Well, semi-main, my bad. No, but
wasn't. No, yeah, it could be the semi-main, but yeah, I mean, that was a young kid. Rocky stepped up. Rambo gave him props. If I'm not mistaken, Rambo called him out. And Rocky, he had a little shine in there, especially at the beginning. Did I think he would win? No. But is a true testament. You have a young kid getting in the business, getting the reps in, wrestling.
So you got to give it to Rocky because he's going up against the undefeated champion with the title on the line. Anything could happen. We know this in the business. Yeah. And when you, no matter how you do in the business, when you get into a position like that, you have a chance to make history by defeating the undefeated Rambo Godfrey and also taking the championship. Your level, you go to another level you've never been before. So I think that's what happened with Rocky. I mean, him being new, yeah, but him at this opportunity to be the first to defeat Rambo and win the championship, I think his level went to another level. But again, not the same level where Rambo's at right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer. Anybody can win anytime.
Yeah.
And it can be a slip up by a second. What happened if he did pin him?
Would have been the biggest upset in showcase history.
Yeah, so it would have been good, but hopefully the kid learned. And I talked to him after. Vega talked to him after. I think Saj reached out to him, during the week. You just got to figure what was good, what was bad, and just build on it. Now we have the main event, the last match, Rodden's Revenge. Now we're not going to have anybody say anything bad. We're going to have the consistent ones versus Johnny Rodden and Tana's own, the real deal, Joe Davis.
Yeah.
60 days in the making. Now, a lot of people don't know behind the scenes. You've seen some of the vignettes that were done, and the videos were put between Joel and Johnny, but doing some workouts on Tana and working at the training center, and you saw the promos from the consistent ones. I was very surprised how this match went. The consistent ones, Tag Team 101, they cut the ring in half, perfectly executed until it wasn't. And do you know what I saw what changed, Danny? When AZ took the short road, went behind the curtain, pushed referee, ring announcer Frank off a chair, grabbed the chair, went to whack somebody, and guess what happened?
DQ.
It could have been a DQ, but Matthew Michelson got whacked with the chair. No, AZ got whacked in the chair. Michelson got distracted. Rodden and Davis got the 1, 2, 3.
So I was two comedians, but it wasn't a comedy show for AZ.
No, and I know what AZ was trying to do, right? He was trying to keep comedy and non-wrestling people out of the business, and I get it. I just don't think he needed the chair.
No.
They're bright, they're young, they have all the tools. All they had to do was keep it isolated. I don't think Rodden could have went any longer, to be honest with you, because he was in the ring for about 6 minutes by himself.
Yeah.
Right? They cut off it really well. Yes, he did have a couple of comebacks that look like, but if they just locked him up in a front face lock, Johnny would have been sucking on the wind. They probably could have got, almost a submission by him passing out on his own air.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but there was no need for a chair in that situation.
Yeah, and again, I know in the past I have not always done everything correct, but I wish I had the advice that I try to give these two fine young gentlemen that all they needed to do was keep consistently cut it off the ring, which they did really well. They tried to take a shortcut, and they came in second.
That's why the hashtag inconsistent bums.
No, we weren't supposed to do that because somebody's not here today. Well, that being said, AZ, Matthew, you got to give me a call again after the podcast. We're going to refocus. We have the tag team tournament coming up, which, just so that you know, they are in the tag team tournament. So now we got 3 people out there, right? 3 tag teams. You have Don Vega and Question Mark. You have Higher Education, and then you also have the consistent ones. So those are 3 tag teams that are currently in the tag team tournament on December 6th. We got 3 more that we'll be announcing, and literally in the 2 weeks to come.
I mean, I liked being a tag team, but I think
I'm
eyeing some singles gold.
You just got out of a tag team. Yeah. You can't even find your last tag team partner, and you want to go back in there?
Yeah. So I'm kind of eyeing some gold, so put that out to the
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, as soon as you look around, Marchiversary is coming up. Yep. And we all know Marchiversary is the calling for the gold. That is the premier opportunity for anybody to get any title shot that they want as long as they win.
Last year I drew number 1. I was 45 minutes in the ring. Before I got thrown, I took the whole ring to throw me out. 45 minutes I lasted, drew number 1, and again, it took the whole ring of people to get me out of there, but I was focused that day.
Well, you know what? Now you have a taste of it, right? Yep. Now you kind of remember, what it was.
And it's been a dream too. So since coming to Showcase Pro Wrestling, one day maybe go to Marchiversary, whatever the case, and get that opportunity. And then no, this is here or there, but I mean, if that was the case, I'd be going against Rambo for the championship, and anything could happen. But I mean, that'd be a dream come true, man. Just one day being Showcase Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, man. And but again, it's neither here nor there. There's a lot of work involved, and plus you got to get through Rambo, man. Rambo has proved himself consistently over and over again. If anybody consistent in Showcase, it is Rambo, that's for sure.
Well, that being said, let's go into one of our favorite segment. Where in the world is Joe Davis? Now, I did originally pitch this as the funeral of Johnny Rotten. I did, but what is coming up? What is that? The 22nd coming up?
Yep, it's right here.
So it is. So put it on the screen. Is
Coventry, Rhode Island.
November 22nd at Coventry is the roast of Johnny Rotten. It is not the funeral. So AZ. Son of Matthew, that's what I really wanted to be. I believe in you too, but with that being said, it's at 399 Tongass Avenue in Coventry.
599.
It's 599. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let me make it bigger. 599.
Oh, it's starting to go. Don.
No. It literally was on the side here, but it's only $15. So all the Showcase fans. Johnny came into your world. Why don't we go to his?
Yeah,
right?
Come out and support Joel Davis and Johnny Rotten.
Yeah, and Joel's going to be there, and I do believe Joel could be adding some more wrestling stuff into his set. So with that being said, you never know what wrestling stories from New England and beyond may be coming up through Joel Davis's site.
Got a good cast over here. Grandma Martha and a bunch of these other comedians. And
now, what day is that? Saturday or is that Friday? I don't know. What's today's date? Today's date. All right, so it is Thursday. So just let you know,
tomorrow
I would not be there because I have to go to.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah. So little Jessa Blackheart at her school at Bayview, they're doing the Addams Family all weekend. So it's tonight, tomorrow, and 2 on Saturday. So if anybody want to get tickets to the Addams Family, support a good cause, just look at Addams Family under Bayview. It's right over in East Providence. Usually is the bridge, especially on Saturday, is not that bad. But yeah, it's a good production. But that's why I won't be there for the roast of Johnny Rotten. But with that being said,
$15 cover charge. I mean, it's a night out, guys.
Which is pretty good. It's, you can't, like kind of like with Showcase, all of our tickets, we got $15. It's very rare that we charge more. A lot of times when we go to Taunton, which we'll be back there in January, I believe it's January 25th. That's going to be the only time we change the tickets for ringside. Typically is $20, and then general admission is $15. But with that being said, let's go into where is Showcase Pro Wrestling coming. So this Saturday, the 30th, which is right after Thanksgiving. So obviously it's not this Saturday. It's the Thanksgiving. That if you want to come down, the Showcase Pro Wrestling is Saturday. Showcase Saturday night's main event. We do know that the main event tag team going into, it's almost a tag team preview. We have the consistent ones. Don't say it.
Inconsistent.
You're killing me. Versus Higher Education. That would be your tag team event. And that actually is going to be a preview going into the tournament going in basically the week after. Dan Badandi would be there. Danny Cabral. Don Vega would be there. And all your favorite stars of Showcase Pro Wrestling. Those tickets at the door are $10 online. We do have discounted tickets. So if you go to showcaseprowrestling.com, you can get discounted tickets for Woonsocket on that link there, which is live and available. Then the following week, December 6th, we are in Taunton. That is at the VFW with a bell time of 7:47. Doors open always a half an hour before bell time. So those who can't tell time or do math, that is at 7:17. For the crowning of the new tag team champions, we'll find out who it is, and we'll also tell you who the remaining 3 teams coming up in the short weekends to come. And then rounding out December, you have RCW on the 27th. And then you have Showcase Pro Wrestling on the 28th. So that is a Friday and Saturday. So it's nothing better for a stocking stuffer right there. So if you don't know what to get your favorite wrestling fan, get them the double header.
You can't beat that, man. Saturday night, right? It's $10 a piece. Where else you going to take your kids? You get about 2.5 hours of live entertainment for $10 a piece. That's it.
Yeah.
And you go. It's a nice arena, the Showcase Pro Wrestling Arena. I love going there. You know, it's like our prep show. You know what I mean? And it's great when we go there. We have a crowd that heavily supports us. I got a nice following there. It's pretty nice to wrestle there, and it's a lot of fun. And again, you can bring the whole family for like half the price of going out to the movies. And you get a live entertainment right there. You can't beat that. And they got snacks at the door and everything else. So, yeah, it's a good time, man.
All right, Danny, with that being said, let's get into some wrestling news. Now, we're doing a little cross right now. We're not going to go over for the Survivor Series coming up because somebody, Don Vega's not here. But what we will do this week, we will be behind the scenes. We're going to be doing it, and we're going to be flipping them up. So he doesn't complain that I'm choosing his person, but when we do the review on that in the following week, we'll actually have it live and we'll actually show it. But one of the things that came up, crossing some of the lines of news, which Danny loves so much, as we know that with the new administration coming on January 20th, there's been a lot of appointments. And one of them was Linda McMahon. For if I'm not mistaken, the educational.
That's awesome.
What was she? The educational director?
Oh, you get that title.
I'll bring up the article, but
yeah.
What I thought was interesting is they obviously when people do get nominated for these positions, they depending on the position, who they are, they do get scrutinized a lot. They have to go typically through a lot of hearings and backgrounds. And one of the things that they were bringing up was they were surprised that Vince and Linda McMahon were separated.
Yeah, Linda McMahon, she's Trump's pick for education secretary.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
So they were surprised that they've been separated. Now, it's been long said for decades that they've been separated because supposedly what is being brought up now, there's a lawsuit that's coming up from the old ring boy incident, which has happened, I think that was like in the early 80s. So the part with that is that was 40 years ago. Linda at that time, she wasn't even, if I'm not mistaken, she was involved, but she wasn't involved. She was more behind the scenes stuff, so she wouldn't even be at the arena when these alleged incidents were happening. And the fact that they've been separate. Let's say they all have been separate for 10 years, but I'm thinking it's probably like almost probably 20. What does that have to do with Linda being potentially confirmed for the education?
Yeah, they probably doing that just this way they don't get no political backlash. I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, which is kind of fun.
Separated. I mean, what is that really?
Well, no, I mean, so basically that means that they're married on paper, but they're probably living different lives. So a lot of people do that, especially, they've been together for 40, 50 years. It's probably literally, I hate to say cheaper, but it's probably cheaper and easier to stay married between assets and everything else than it is to get, legally separated. So.
Yeah, man, it's going to be exciting for this administration. You see RFK, man? That guy's jacked.
Well,
he's going to be the new health.
Did you see the photo that supposedly came out on the plane? The photo came out with the plane that it was like it was him, Elon, like Trump, and they were eating at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, we've all done it, and the fact that if he's supposed to be, trying to make America healthy again, some days you got to start with the stuff that you're going to be changing. But we'll find out. What about Hulk Hogan?
I wonder if they're going to make him something.
I don't know. Let's tell you something. He's a good ambassador. But
send him over
for fitness.
Send him over to bomb Ukraine. The 24-inch pythons.
Oh, you don't need. Oh. Danny, we maybe shouldn't get in politics with you today because we're going to be falling down the slope. All right, Danny. So, what other news you want to bring up? So,
we should touch on the Survivor Series a little bit.
All right. Let's do.
I know Don's not here, but me and you could do our picks and have Don fill in later.
Well, you said that you only have 3 of them that came up. Oh, so now you want all 3 of us to have picks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Tell me.
You guys,
right, what do we get? I haven't picked anything yet.
All right, well, I can write them down here.
All right, you write them down just so I don't get accused. All right, so
Then we'll.
all right, so give me the matches.
All right, so was it 3 matches scheduled right now? So World Heavyweight Title match: Gunther versus Damian Priest, and it's a rematch here since WrestleMania. So I think this is gonna be a.
All right. All right, I'm going with Gunther.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Don Vega, who you going with? Nobody. All right, he's going nobody.
Yeah, Gunther, man.
No, but we'll get his actual views and we'll put it up.
I mean, I can see Gunther like going for a while.
No, I mean that's a tough one, you know.
That guy's. I mean, when it comes to wrestling, I think he's the best in the world right now.
Yeah, no, he's come a long way.
Yeah,
we should bring up the transformation of different people because I think the problem is like when you see Gunther now and if you see Priest now, they see like the superstar, but they don't see them starting like 12, 15, 18 years ago, where if you saw both of them, they look like nothing. You know, Gunther was an overweight, tall guy, you know.
He lost a lot of weight, man.
You know, and then you look at Priest was kind of the same way. He was a chubby guy doing like a gothic gimmick. Kind of looked, especially at that time when you think about the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Tons of people doing the goth gimmick, which I thought was terrible, you know. But the fact that they are now, again, for all these indie guys out there, it's not where you start, is where you finish. You all go through different stages, and the fact is you got to learn. You got to figure out mistakes. Hopefully, you can minimize your mistakes by learning from the mistakes of others. You know, and that's one thing we do really well at the Showcase Wrestling Training Center, is we try to bring down knowledge, you know, from what we've done, other people have done, and I'm a firm believer. I'd rather learn from someone else's mistake than make the same exact mistake myself. And some of the kids would rather learn the hard way. But we have a great crop of guys now down there, and you know, I can't tell you guys people everything, but you know, there's good things going on.
Me, you, and Don, 90 years just about combined wrestling experience.
Yeah, that old.
30, you know, just about.
Well, you know, in a case like that, if you look at it, I mean, we've all evolved.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still active in the ring. I'm typically not an active competitor, but when you look at it, as I transform from being a wrestler to owner of a company, being a promoter, being a booker in this business, not everybody can do the transition because some people they just can't. You know, and some people don't know this that you know Vega does book for Showcase and a couple other promotions. You know, so and that's an evolve. That's just not. People think it's just making matches. That's just making matches is the fun and easy part. Yeah, there's so much more to actually go.
I'm
through
learning
that.
from you because as you know, I'm helping book with AWL to small wrestling fed that we're trying to build up and all that. But I learned a lot just like by watching you. You know, even the promotion. There. I mean, it's just like it's a lot of work, especially wrestling and booking the same show. It's like it's impossible. Yeah. I learned that from recently, but
yeah, no, it's just a lot. It's not as glamorous as people think it is.
Yeah,
and some days, and this is on the booking side, we used to get so good at booking because we used to have to change the card so many times because of people not showing up or somebody's injured, and old friends, the Mac Attack used to call it the Blackheart surprise, and it really wasn't me surprising people. Is if people don't realize that if something changes on the card because someone's not there, some days if in a good day you can just change that match, but a lot of times you have to change up the whole card to make up a good card, not just something that is wishy-washy.
I had to do that last week. I mean, like the thing changed like 15 times before the show actually started because this one's not showing up or this one couldn't do this or it's just like it's a nightmare. But it's a challenge though. But anyway, next match is War Games match, Survivor Series. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi in IU Sky versus Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. So this is 5-on-5 here. It's crazy.
They're putting the girls on the cage again.
Yeah, War Games match.
Oh, come on! I was hoping they weren't going to do that. All right, I'm going to take Nia Jax.
Nia Jax.
I'll give you Nia Jax team.
they were putting.
I was hoping they know that. I'll be honest, I don't like the women in the cage.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan because to me the cage still symbolizes like the ultimate end of a feud, and it only happens when typically one person can't move, or they're injured so much, or they're bruised, or they're bloody, and the fact that you have the girls in there and a lot of them, not that they can't go, it's just I don't want to see the women in that predicament. I'd rather have them have a normal 10-person, non-cage, and then let the guys do it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Rhea Ripley. I mean, like...
That's fine.
Rhea Ripley, she's just like... you remember back in our day when we watched WWE, China, she was like...
Yep.
The Maki of pro wrestling for a woman. I think Rhea Ripley is that she's got everything for what a woman's supposed to be. I know what's her name, Raquel Rodriguez and all these other girls. They're great athletes and all that. Like Jade Cargill, she's all jacked and all that. But I think Rhea Ripley, she's really got. She's the icon right now because it was Charlotte Flair. What happened to Charlotte Flair anyway?
She should be coming back. The impression, I believe she had an injury that she's coming back from. So I want to be surprised when Netflix, Raw on Netflix come up in January. I wouldn't be surprised if she kicks off. And I mean, those two. I mean, they're definitely the cornerstone, of the women's division. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a WrestleMania match coming up. Mm-hmm. But even Liv Morgan, like character-wise, she's doing really well.
Yeah.
Again, character-wise, she does really well. Wrestling-wise, is not there. But I think wrestling-wise, Rhea versus, Charlotte. I think that's the next woman match I want to see. As the main event.
Yeah, it'd be a good main event. They only got 3 matches so far on the website anyway.
They have the men's Survivor match?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
The main event, yeah.
Yep.
So, my bad. Roman Reigns, I call him the old school versus new school family, the bloodline there.
All right.
So it's Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and the Usos, and fifth member, whoever that is, versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tamu Tonga Low, and Big Bronson Reed. So whoever that fifth member is going to be, who do you think the fifth member is going to be?
I think it may be Seth.
Seth?
But I like the idea that you came up earlier today.
Yeah.
You said, what about Brock? But I think since Bronson is on that side, Seth and Bronson still are having a feud, I think it kind of makes sense.
What happened what's his name? Braun Strowman. Didn't he have a feud with Bronson Reed?
Yeah, but I think they finished it a couple weeks ago.
Huh. So we could be Braun Strowman as the fifth member?
Well, it could be, but I mean,
but imagine Brock Lesnar. Just like that would be.
I'm thinking Brock's being saved until January.
Yeah, I like to see Brock, but I think it's gonna be Braun Strowman. But then again, I'm gonna pick for this here because the surprise. I'm gonna have to go with Roman Reigns' team.
Yep, put me down for that one. Put me down. Don Vega, I'm not choosing. Yeah, I know. We'll get it. We'll get his, and if they're the same, that's more than fine.
Yeah.
So that's 3. Matches. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be 2 more matches.
Yeah.
Because just between those 2 matches, the men and the women, that's probably a good 20, 25 minutes on both of them.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 matches, 10 to 15 minutes. That's a 2-hour pay-per-view, 2.5, or premium event.
They imagine they're going to throw some tag team thing in there too.
So the good part about that, that's if I'm not that. What time does that start? Is it 7 o'clock or is it 5 o'clock?
Well, it could be 2 in the morning.
No, because that's
7 o'clock.
All right. So the good part about that, you can be at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center watching Showcase live and watching the Survivor Series.
Yeah, because everybody's got phones and tablets.
Everybody got phones.
You can sit there and watch both live action.
Or to be honest with you, you come to Showcase live. To me, live is always better, right?
Yeah. From
7 to 9, you watch Showcase, and then you start everything at 9 when you're going home or driving home.
Yeah.
Right?
Get to watch 2 great shows in the same night.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, I don't know. They're probably going to add some tag team things for the Survivor
Yeah,
Series.
no, literally, I guess we'll find out this week. We'll find out figured on Monday.
I hope the Viking Raiders, man. It's been 4 years since they had a championship,
Yeah.
and I understand they were injured. But Todd and his partner there, great people. But yeah, they deserve a championship match, and it's been a while. The Viking Raiders. So
we'll have to find out. I mean,
Yeah.
as Todd's an Oregon guy, we've known Todd, 20 years, almost 25. Just over 20 years. Like the first time I ever wrestled Todd was with my missing partner over here, and it was against Bo Douglas, and they were the Douglas brothers.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was in Club Escapades on the Raham Taunton line.
Yeah, I know Todd for a long time.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, no, I always like seeing the local guys, especially the guys that you do wrestle with.
I'm sorry, Ivar, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, it's
Yeah, good stuff, man. And I was good friends with his sister for a while, and good man. Like if anybody deserved it, that guy worked his ass off to be where he is today. And the Viking Raiders, I think it's a dominant team. Just that persona, everything about them, and I really think they should have some tag team gold on them.
Tell us how you feel, Danny. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah, tell us how we feel. So Triple H, you got to put some gold on these guys, man.
Well, actually, one thing we haven't touched on going on indie news is WWE ID program.
What's that?
So that is so WWE had a D1 program where they were signing guys, going down to the performance center. Typically, the D1 program was athletes, typically D1 athletes from the colleges that they would sign for like 6 months. So now, about 3 weeks ago, actually no, it was longer than that. I think it was about 6 weeks ago. They had a program that's called WWE ID, where they're signing independent guys to kind of looks like being underneath the microscope. All the details are still coming out. When it first came out, it was like, hey, these just guys that we're kind of looking at. Now it looks like there may be some sponsorship or compensation down through there. So how I see it is these guys have people looking at them 100% now. Where one thing that people forget is when a lot of these guys, when they get tryouts at WWE, it used to be go to Raw, SmackDown, you get dressed, you're having some ring time, you're having some matches, and you may have, a match on TV or a dark match, and you get washed out because if for some reason your stuff's not there, as in your timing's off, usually, your timing's off, you don't have the look, you got to drop weight or the gear. They usually give you a checklist. I think the good or bad about the whole ID program is some of these people may not get a chance to wrestle live in front of the people who can get them a job. Because as we know in indie wrestling, a lot of times various indie promotions, they structure it certain ways. And WWE, and somebody wants to write this down, it's all about foundation. Like at the Showcase Wrestling Training Center, it's all about foundation. You have to have a good, strong foundation. Well, a lot of these guys, that are getting WWE ID'd, if they're having those matches and stuff is sloppy or rushed, to me, I almost look at it as a target on your back, which is a negative, not as a positive. Now, obviously, if all the guys at Showcase Pro Wrestling were WID'd, I would have a different viewpoint on it. But I'm saying this way, they may wash these guys out quicker before they get a live opportunity to have that. Now, I don't have the details of how they're picking them, why they're picking them, or the full criteria. But obviously, you see off of all social media, WWID, there's some guys in the New England area who received it. So we'll find out in the weeks to come, figure out how it actually works and what they're actually doing with it. I did see an article today that I think it was Dustin Rhodes put out, what about AEW being ID'd? Because one thing that came out on the WWE ID was that if some reason there's a contract presented to these individuals, that WWE has the first right to offer or make a counter offer. So that's kind of interesting when you think about it, because you have two major companies that people are trying to, literally get a look at and get jobs at. I think the only difference is AEW has to have some kind of performance center that the guys and gals can train at, get the coaching, get mentored. A lot of times you just can't come from the indies and then go on TV, because depending on where you're training, they may not train you how to wrestle for TV. And it's different between indie wrestling and TV wrestling and wrestling for the cameras. And we didn't always do that at the training center, but a few years ago we started training our guys to wrestle for TV between the cameras and even the referees, and the announcers is different. So there's a lot of different aspects that goes into it. So.
Well, speaking of training and all that, guys, if you go to the website, if you're interested in becoming a pro wrestler, come to our training center. Coach Ken Doan, he was Kenny from the Spirit Squad in WWE, but he's one of the coaches here. Don Vega, Chris Blackheart, awesome school, man. And they got 2 rings in there, a bunch of weight equipment now. You guys got donated from the Planet Fitness and everything, and so it's a good accelerated program, man. And definitely come in; it's well worth it. And when I first got into wrestling, man, when I had to pay an intuition, we understand it could be pricey, but it is the best investment you ever make, because not only are you putting into them, they're putting all their hard work, all their 30 years with Chris here. I think about the same with Chris and all that, and Ken, I'm sorry, and Don with 90 years of wrestling being invested into you. I mean, it's amazing stuff, and it's like one of the best things you ever do in your life. If you ever dreamed of being a pro wrestler, don't put it off, guys. Just go do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the money. You get the money somehow. You know what I mean? Just go do it and don't put it off, because you never guarantee nothing, man. And you never guarantee the next day. And that was one of the best things I did. Where I was fresh out, not even out of high school yet. Met a pro wrestler. They were advertised for a show. I just got done with the state championship for high school wrestling. And I want to be a pro wrestler, you know what I mean? And I signed up, and there I am in training. A few months later, I had my first match, and here I am 30 years later, still in the business, you know what I mean? So it's one of the best things you ever do. Even if you want to be a wrestler, a manager, or referee, just come sign up, guys, and just give it a shot. And if you don't like it, hey, whatever. At least you can say you tried. That's the other thing, So the Performance Center here, right in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. So guys, please check that out. And it's the same place we have our Saturday night shows. Again, and just come to the show, look at the facility. You can see it for yourself. Watch the action and say, do I want to be part of this? And if you do, Chris Blackheart and his wife or his daughter is at the door. Just, hey, listen, I need information on becoming a pro wrestler. And he's there to talk to you. Chris is at every one of the shows. And you get to check out the facility right there as you're watching the show. So you can't beat that, man.
No, and the training, is always Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Mm-hmm. This week it is modified because of Thanksgiving. We're doing Monday and Tuesday. But come on down, send me an email. I'll send you information, regarding the school. Come on down, we'll have a conversation. Have you watched some of the class, talk to some of the people who are actually training there. We'll answer all your questions. And Danny's 100% right. If you ever thought about doing it, I can't say it's never too late, but do not put it off, because life gets in the way.
Yeah.
So many times you have somebody who's 18, 19, life gets in the way, and now they're like 35. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, if you ever want to do it, because 35 is better than 45. But if you're at 45 and you still want to do it, some days I think some of the older people are better because they're more focused. And they don't waste the time, where some of the younger talent, they waste a lot of time.
Exactly. So don't put it off, man. Just do it.
Just do it. It's a great opportunity. If you go with any of those links, or you go anything on social media at SP Wrestling, comes over to myself, or email is promoter@showcaseprowrestling.com.
And again, the best way to check it out, just come to the show, and the facility's right there. And then you're interested, let's do this. You know what I mean? And it's one of the best things you ever do in your life, and most craziest things you do in your life too. But yeah, it's fun. I don't regret any of it. It's been 30 years, and God willing, another 10 years or so. But other than that, man, it's I can't say enough about their business. You meet so many great people, and then at the school here, they'll teach you the mic work, the TV stuff, everything there. I can see a lot of guys in our company going to WWE. I mean, much as I call him inconsistent, but
Yeah, no, and we'll get into some stuff in December. We got some good stuff happening in December, which after it happens, we'll tell people. And even going into January, and we're going to January events coming up, and again, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that's awesome, and we'll drop it on the pod so everybody can hear. But with that being said, Danny, it's almost time to wrap it up. A Dawn Vega free show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know I bash AZ a lot, but, like, when you really come to it, man, I think he's got a lot of talent, just being professional here.
Yeah,
I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think I can see him definitely, Spratt, and Danny, them three, and then Rambo, too. I could definitely see those guys on TV, which they were. I mean,
and that's one thing people forget is you never know who you see at these local shows.
Yeah.
Who's going to be up on the big league.
Yep.
But Danny, we're wrapping it now. Almost an hour into it. Dawn Vega free. We will keep you posted on this coming Thursday, because this Thursday is Thanksgiving. So we possibly may pre-record something. Or possibly we may or may not have a show. We're just trying to coordinate the schedules between the three of us. But it is Thanksgiving. It is family time. So Lily, make the drive. Say hi to a family member. And again, wrestling's always here, and we'll find out if we will be here. But you can always find that out at SP Wrestling on all the social media platforms. With that being said, Danny, let's wrap this baby up.
Yep, for myself, for Don Vega that's not here. I think he's at another football game or something. But, Christopher Hart here, so Blackheart. So anyway, guys, we'll see you next week, hopefully. If not, the week after. So we're out of here.